Kathy Hochul was recently sworn in as the governor of the state of New York, of course, after Governor Cuomo's resignation over sexual harassment allegations. Governor Hochul chose New York State Senator Brian Benjamin of Harlem to be her lieutenant governor. He's going to be sworn in on Thursday. Before he does that, he's going to stop right by and speak to us. He is here now in studio with us. Sir, it's good to have you here. Welcome. And look, there's plenty to get into and a lot going on in the world, but let me just start with you, just a moment of reflection. A kid from Harlem, went back to Harlem to represent as a state senator, and now you're going to be the #2 in the state.
It is amazing. And, I got to go back to my mom coming to this country with nothing, 2 suitcases and a dream. And, she just believed in the American dream. And Harlem Hospital gave life to me, and it's just been an amazing journey ever since. America gives us an opportunity to get an education, and if you fight hard, you work, you do everything you can become a lieutenant governor one day.
And you mentioned mama first, and mama and grandmama and family is going to play a big role in your swearing in on Thursday.
Absolutely. My mother is going to bring her grandmother's Bible, wow. Which is something that she holds near and dear to her heart, and I'm going to get sworn in with that Bible. My wife will swear me in. It's just amazing, the whole process of just being just diligent and just being hardworking, and I believe in God. I believe in sort of karma, and it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to serve New York State at a time when we need diversity in every voice at the table. Governor Hochul is about that, and I'm happy that she's chose me to help her.
To that point, voice at the table. Oftentimes, lieutenant governor, we don't see lieutenant governor Absolutely. A lot. Oftentimes seen as ceremonial. She said, I think her word was, "You're not just window dressing."
Absolutely.
So how are you expected now and want to contribute in a way that maybe we don't often see lieutenant governors do?
Absolutely. So as you know, the COVID crisis is still with us, and one of the things she wants me to do is really get out there and help convince people that they should get vaccinated. There are people who don't know, and there are people who know and choose not to get vaccinated.
Something else, a lot of people's minds, infrastructure.
Absolutely.
We just went through what we saw here in the city. Looked like a watery apocalypse.
Absolutely.
With the major flooding. And you're going to be with President Biden a little later today touring some damage. That guy right there, you see him in our studio? That's B-Rad. He's one of our stage managers.
Absolutely.
And when he heard you were coming, he just said to me before you came out here, he said, can he help me with my flooding?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of New Yorkers went through it, of course, and still going through it with the flooding. What can be done? What should have been done and be better prepared for that? For what we just saw here in New York?
Well, first of all, as we know, climate change is real. It's getting warmer. The water is getting warmer, so the water is evaporating, leading to heavier floods, heavier storms. So what we have to do is look at our infrastructure. We have the $1 trillion from the federal government that needs to come our way, but we have to make sure that we have better drainage systems. We need to make sure that we are creating an environment, and the illegal apartments in places like Southeast Queens and other places, we need to look at ensuring that there's an early warning system. Governor Hochul said, let's have an early warning system so that people who are at risk can get out, but we have to look at our infrastructure. It's aging, it's old in New York City and New York State, and we have to spend the money. And President Biden hopefully will come and see what needs to happen so that we can really push that money to New York.
Will you, behind the scenes, will you privately or even publicly continue to advocate for defunding the police when the governor said that's not something she supports?
Well, one of the things that I feel very strongly about, and the governor agrees on, is that we can have justice and safer streets at the same time. We can have accountability and safer streets. And so for me, it's more about, let's make sure that we're spending our police resources wisely so that we have safer streets and that we don't have another George Floyd, that we don't have another Eric Garner. We can do both at the same time. That's really the priority, because at the end of the day, if you're in New York, if you're a young black man in Harlem, you want to make sure that you can live safely. But if you're a parent and with a family, you want to make sure that you can live safely. Both those things can happen. We got to get rid of the gun violence. Some of the things that we are going to be working with the mayor of New York City, as well as the federal government on, is how do we deal with this gun violence issue? It's an interstate issue, but it's also an intrastate issue. That's the kind of leadership that I look to provide with Governor Hochul.
But is that something we can expect now? I mean, you're the #2 in the state. You have
Absolutely.
a platform now
Absolutely.
like never before. So people might be hoping that you'll use that and continue to speak about defunding the police. But it sounds like maybe that's something that will be on the back burner for now.
What I'll be focusing on is public safety. What I'll be focusing on is safer streets. And what I'll be focusing on is accountability in all agencies, including the police department. That is something that Governor Hochul and I agree on, and that is what my priority and focus will be.
All right, well, State Senator for 2 more days is the title. Incoming Lieutenant Governor. It is really, really good to have you here. Congrats on everything, and I know it's going to be a really special day for you all on Thursday.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you down the road.
All right.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.